This is Investor Perspectives. I'm the host of Investor Connect, Hall T. Martin, where we connect startups and investors for funding. In this episode, you'll hear about a new company in the software development sector called Ping. Our featured guests are Ryan Brown, early investor in Ping, Barry Arnold, co-founder and CRO of Ping, and Garen Toren, CEO and founder of Ping. Headquartered in New York, Ping is a 4-time patented messaging platform that automatically reads your texts, emails, and all other message types out loud when touching your phone is unsafe, illegal, or inconvenient. Deployment is currently through Android and iPhone apps with Alexa already live and Google Home coming in November. Available via SDK, white label, and standalone apps, Ping solves 3 critical pain points for smartphone users on the go: productivity, safety, and connectivity. With the founding mission of saving lives, distracted driving is the #1 cause of collisions and road fatalities, costing $129 billion a year. 650,000 Android downloads and 6.7 million YouTube views. No other solution reads all message types out loud on Android, iOS, Alexa, and Google Home. Truly cross-platform. Ping is the only Alexa skill, and soon Google Home, that allows users to hear and reply to all their messages. Focused on enterprise partnership, Ping licenses its tech to B2B and B2B2C companies to increase customer value, engagement, and revenue for them. Insurance, mobile operators, car makers, fleet, gig economy, streaming audio, and exercise apps. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, this is Hall Martin with 10 Capital, where we help startups and investors connect for funding. Today, we're here with the Why I Invested webinar series featuring Ping. With us, we have today Barry Arnold, co-founder and CRO of Ping. And we also have Garen Toren, CEO and founder of Ping. And then we have Ryan Brown, an early investor in Ping. So I want to thank you guys for joining us today. I understand that Ping is a patented voice platform and app that automatically reads email, text, push notifications. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, Barry?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Hall. We live in an always connected society. Our phones are always blowing up with messages. And as we've discovered during COVID, the connections that we make and the connections that we keep are critical to what we do, both personally and professionally. And we looked at the opportunity to bring voice into the equation. And so what Ping has done over the last 4 years has been to create the only patented voice platform in the world for Android, iOS, and Alexa that can read any message out loud. Now, there are plenty of applications for why you would be using an app like this, or a white label, or an SDK. One of the most obvious is driving. Distracted driving is by far the biggest killer on our roads. It's also the cause of the most number of accidents. And people are using their phones even though they know that it's illegal. So we've taken a proactive approach to this and said, if we can eliminate the bad behavior of people checking their phones for messages by reading them out loud, whether it's an email, a text, a WhatsApp message, or a Slack message, we can prevent countless accidents, injuries, and fatalities. But it's not just driving that we offer a great deal of value. If you think about any time in your daily routine where looking at your phone is inconvenient, whether you're preparing a meal, whether you're homeschooling your children, whether you're working from home or exercising in the basement, your phone doesn't stop pinging every time a message comes in. And so we have created something that offers both safety and productivity and is overall a convenience package for people that want to stay safely connected to all of the things that are important to them.
Thank you, Barry, for that overview. To you, Ryan, can you tell us a little bit about your background as an investor?
Yeah, I can. Appreciate you having me on. So my background, and I'll start a little bit with professional experience, which kind of, I think, relays into my background. I have been involved in the startup ecosystem for about a decade. I've started off kind of on the consulting side and then worked my way into founding companies. One of the most recent companies I was involved in as a co-founder was called Liquid Wi-Fi. We responded to an RFP out of the city of New York under Bloomberg, kind of a reinvent the payphone challenge. And we built an interactive digital kiosk that was all about connecting people to their place, to their local neighborhood. You also had space for future 5G locations, so real estate for a telecom company. We created a Wi-Fi kind of hub, so kind of a mesh network. And really, it was really kind of a reinvention of the community bulletin board, kind of like a next door, but connecting locals and visitors, tourists to their place. So just them knowing what events were happening. Here's farmers market, art crawl, et cetera. So I have an obsession with IoT. in connectivity and really connecting people to things that maybe they don't want to miss out on. So I think that's that genesis, that urban technology, that kind of rethinking how cities kind of work, really got me interested. And it's part of my investment companies that I look at as well. But it's kind of through serendipity, got connected to Garen and Barry. I think beginning of 2018, at least 2 years ago, I was an early investor, had the opportunity to meet them in New York and hear what they were building. And I guess, so background is property tech, IoT, urban technology, media. That's kind of the space I thrive in and love. And to be honest, I love meeting founders. It's after I had an exit at the end of 2016 to Verizon, I had an opportunity, had capital essentially to start investing for the first time. So for the last 4 to 5 years, I've been hyper focused on research, connecting to founders that I believe in. Obviously, it's all about mission as well. I have to have the values have to be aligned. And I met Barron and Gary and love the fact that they had, I guess, I don't know how many years that Garen, you guys were working on this prior to me getting involved, but this wasn't just like a pitch deck, right? This was investment coming from them, from Garen, after successful exits, and a team I believed in, right? They could have probably sold me anything that day, but I really believed in what they were building, the fact that they were so committed. I knew that they were going to do whatever it took to make this a reality. And so, yeah, it's always founders first.
Great. And so, Gino, what type of companies do you invest in? Tech, healthcare, or is it across the board?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I've been investing 5 years, like I mentioned. I'd say the space that I feel most comfortable in. I professionally worked in real estate. I've worked in the IoT space. I was at Verizon for a couple of years as well after that acquisition. And I'd say media and then travel is another kind of the future of work. And so remote work specifically, I've been investing in over the last couple of years. And it's funny, COVID actually, certain ways was a blessing. In certain areas, it was, it's been intense. As far as live events was another area I was invested in. But I would say, I'm super curious. So investing in startups for me is a way to learn. It's a way to connect into a founding team and kind of see that team journey that they have over however many years a company is thriving. And then I get to meet investors as well. So it's a mix. Selfishly, I love it because I learn and I meet great people. But the piece here that I think was important is kind of the IoT side and how connectivity is. This is the trend. Voice obviously being the vehicle which communication and connectivity happens. And so it hit the right kind of sweet spot for me. Great.
And so what made you decide to invest on this one at that point? What was the key deciding factor?
Yeah, I mean, really the key factor was the team members, was the founders, Garen and Barry. I think we had about an hour and a half meeting the first time we met at the Gramercy Hotel, if I remember correctly. And just these guys are extremely impressive. Their backgrounds, I try to always find founders that have done it before, right? That have either been a part of successful companies and have been integral in that rocket ship and or have operated, co-founded, whatever. And these guys have both had successful exits, very experienced operators, amazing human beings as well. I don't want to invest in people that I don't want to have dinner with or have a drink with. I think that's really important. And it was mission aligned. I just watched, so I hadn't watched Social Dilemma before this, but I can tell you it's something, the urge to check messages, because I have Slack, I have LinkedIn, I have various, I'm in the car, whatever. I have various distractions that are happening and people that I want to get in touch with and vice versa. And voice is a game changer. So it was a problem that no one can really argue with, right? Fatalities, crashes are happening. Safety is a major issue on the roads, whether it's individuals driving or fleets. And I know too, just using things like Spotify, Audible, fitness apps, there's activities that I'm doing, messages are incoming, and I need a way to kind of, listen, I can put my phone on plane mode as well, but if I want to continue to have a productive day, Ping has solved that. So it's safety, it's productivity, and it's just a much easier way to get through my day. So it solved all the pain points that I experience. And unfortunately, I give into the urge to want to touch my phone and do it while driving as well. I'm probably one of many millions of people that have that urge and have that tendency. And yeah, it was an easy yes because of how well adept and knowledgeable they were about what they were doing and their backgrounds. And well, Barry specifically, I feel like you guys had an exit to Volkswagen, if I'm not mistaken. You obviously chime in, but and I know, Garen, you had a really nice exit. I'm going to mispronounce the name of the company, but is it Strava?
Strada.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I knew that these guys were well networked, had the relationships built, right? So I think it makes things a lot easier when you've got those connections built in and you know kind of what things are missing in certain industries. So yeah, I love the fact that they were. I didn't think this was going to be a 20-year kind of let's see what happens. I knew that they were focused and honed in on where they needed to go, and they weren't going to waste time.
Great. So why do you think this company will be successful? You mentioned many points already, but what do you think the key one is?
I think they're going to be successful because the scalability of this solution, their ability to white label, to work with companies and create a white label kind of app that can integrate in. I think the biggest one is scalability. What I mean exactly is Ping can work with insurance companies. They can work with Amazon Alexa, Audible. They can work with a Ford. They can work with a Verizon, a major telecom company. They're already we've got 4 patents, I think 3 pending, if I'm not mistaken. And
that's right.
And they're in 30 languages as well, right? So this isn't just a South Africa, US, UK solution. This is a global solution, and it's something that's definitely needed. I think you got $129 billion. I don't know if this is worldwide or just US, but it's just say $129 billion worth of cost associated with distracted driving, right? So it's going to be successful because the connections are there, multiple industries that need the solution that they're tapped into and have relationships with, and they can white label. There's various ways they can work around, I think, and work with companies as far as collaborating.
So what excites you most about this opportunity going forward?
Saving lives is a big one. I think that's a no-brainer. I think as they scale, the beauty is as they scale into various sectors, that there's more productivity and lives are saved. So I think, personally, it's the mission. I've drank the Kool-Aid and I'm seeing tons of success from them as well. The conversations they're in, it's super exciting as far as scalability. And yeah, I think they're going to be successful because they've been successful in the past, and they're in the arena with all these companies. They could obviously talk more about that, but it's their pipeline is robust, and there's various deals that are forthcoming.
So how are you helping the team?
Yeah, so I think one thing I kind of left out is, I try to invest in things I'm interested in, and I invest in teams, but I invest in companies that I feel like I can provide some type of value add, right? So I think with Ping specifically, I've been able to introduce them to Verizon, so the wireless side, and Verizon Connect. Ford Motor Company was another introduction. Nos Telecom, based out of Portugal. And even Tidal, actually. Yeah, Tidal in New York, which I think led to an interesting conversation with a buddy of mine. He got his MBA at MIT, and he connected them to an insurance company out of Chile. So it's a nice domino effect. I think one thing, when you start talking to Garen and Barry and you hear kind of what they're working on, there's a plethora of industries and people that you're connected to that you can easily introduce these guys to. And I've been blown away by the work they've done once I've made the introductions. Sometimes it's easy to tee up an intro, then the real work starts. So, and that's Barry's main focus is obviously driving the revenue and that pipeline. And he's done an incredible job. Everyone I've talked to that I've introduced him to has been blown away by both them and the tech. So the solution itself.
Great. So last question is, what else should other investors know about this opportunity?
I think the biggest thing is I've mentioned the various industries that they can obviously positively impact, but it's a global solution, and the scalability of what they're doing is imminent, right? So they're talking to insurance companies, telecom, parking companies, automotive, fitness, fleets. Obviously, the fleet side's enormous. From an Amazon and other delivery vehicles to looking at the gig economy and Lyft and Uber, there's literally almost no sector that they can't help, even parking, right? I think these are partnerships they already have. One interesting one, I think that's maybe fairly new as far as me knowing about it as an investor as I get updates, are partnerships with membership trade associations. So if you think about HVAC, plumbing, pest management, landscaping, these contractors that are always in the field and on the road. So that's anyone on the delivery side as well, right? So whether it's food, goods and services, that's in their sweet spot. And so I would encourage any investor to really dig in and really talk to Gary and Barry about kind of the massive pipeline. It's a global solution. It's patented, so there's good defensibility here. And I think exciting is this is the only Alexa skill, right? The first one to do it, and they've done something pretty remarkable as far as iOS. Working with the iPhone side, and I believe for a couple of years the Android app has been in play, but a recent development. And what excites me is, and I'm an Apple, I have an iPhone, so their ability now to work with iPhone, where messages, from what I understand, and I'll probably not say this the right way, but accessing messages on an iPhone and having it read out loud is basically non-existent. And these guys were able to figure that out. So I love their ability to problem solve. I love their ability to get into any door that exists. And I've been blessed as an investor. I've learned a lot. And so, yeah, I help along the way, but at the end of the day, these guys have got to close the deal. So I have full confidence in their ability to do so.
Ryan, thank you for your perspectives and information. And now, Garen, can you give us a recent list of updates as well as recap the terms of the offering?
Sure. Thank you, Hall. And thank you, Ryan, a lot. Greatly appreciated. I think Ryan mentioned that we recently went live with the iPhone app. So that took us a number of years to get that tech right. In March of this year, we became and are still the only Alexa skill where you can have all your messages read aloud over your Alexa device. Next month, we're launching the ability to initiate a new message on your Alexa device, as well as rolling out Google Home. So Ping will be the very first Google Home action where you can have all your messages read aloud by your Google Home. And then early next year, we will be linking the iPhone app to Alexa as well. So that's our path. We are raising a $1.8 million convertible note seed round. It's a dead standard note. We have already raised 1.65 million of that 1.8. So we're looking to close out the round over the next 3 or 4 months.
Great. Thank you for that, Garen. And I want to thank Barry for his information and Ryan for joining us as well. Thank you so much for being with us today. If you have any questions about the deal Ping, you can find them at tencapital.group, and we'll be glad to connect you with the founders and the investors. Thank you guys so much for joining us today, and I want to thank the investors that will come in the future. Thank you for joining us today. As always, be sure to leave a review, subscribe to this podcast, and share it with others. Let's go start up something today. Hall T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for the basis of investment decisions.